Hello, it's Dominique. Today I want to start with you a series of tutorials. This is a very easy album that I'm making for this beginners or someone that wants to make follow a tutorial for a project that is not too hard, doesn't take too long, and it's beautiful depending on the pages the paper that you use. But here I'm using the French Riviera from Prima Marketing. There are 6x6s. You have 36 sheets. I decided to take this pad here because I wanted to make the one project with 1/3 of the sheets. That's 12 sheets because I have 3 of each design, 12 designs. So one set of 12. And also I wanted to make a tutorial in French and another one in English so that everybody is doing the same thing. And also I had the cards, the note cards, 3x4s. They have 45 sheets of 15 designs. So that means again I have 3 of each. So I can use 12 sheets of this one plus 15 cards of this one, and I have enough to make the 3 projects. So if you want to do 3 projects, they could be different. You can do that with 12 sheets. It's a small project, but still. So I'll be using those. So this is the book. I'll show you the book, and then I'll show you the material you need. Sorry, I didn't tie it because I was showing it. I just finished the French tutorials. Now I'm making the English tutorials for you guys. So this is what my book looks like. You don't have to have the same embellishments and all that. It's just that I wanted to have more. So like the keys, corners, and little door pull or handle, and the flowers, and all that. But we're making this book, so it's 6 1/4 by 6 3/4, I think. So 6 1/2 by 6 3/4, and the spine is 2 inches. Okay, so it's chipboard covers. You learn how to make the chipboard cover. You learn how to make the spine with fabric and with lace. And this could be like I did with the little handle, but you could do just ribbons that tie together. So you have ribbons here and ribbons here. I'll let you know when it's time for that, when to put your ribbons. You don't have to have the metal corners. Those are the eyelet, outlet, and brads corners, and the handles are spare parts from the paper studio. So I had those, and there were packs of 3 for my 3 projects, and they have 3 sets of 4 different design, so that was perfect for my 3 projects. My goal was to make the one book with only the 12 sheets. Unfortunately, just for the covering the spine here and the little extra, because the pages are wider, I didn't have to make them that wide. So, but anyways, I made them that way, so it's going to be that way. I had to use paper from another paper collection, so I got this from Prima again. It's a sheet of paper from romance novel. It can be whatever you have. But if you have more than 12 sheets, or you have 12 sheets of larger than 6x6, you will be okay to finish everything. So I'll show you what it is. So inside we have, those are all interactions that I've made in my books lately. So you've seen them before. I picked those because they're easy to make and they're so much fun to get, and they don't take too much paper. That's for sure. So this one is just a big pouch. So it's the accordion pouch. I'll show you this side. So it can expand to about 3/4 of an inch, and it can be as flat as we want. So depending how much stuff is put in there. And so you learn how to make that. We're having 2 pages that flip, so that's a 6-page album. So those 2 pages, I'll show you how I make the sheets. And that technique is from Christine from Scrap and Rabbit, how to make the pages. So I'll show you how to do that. So the second page here is a magnet. So yeah, I needed to show you that you need magnets. Before I forget, I have to put them here in the things that you need to have. So just a little flap. This big bug that just fell on me. I hate those. They're called cedar bugs. Just a sec. Okay, it's dead now. Okay, I just got scared. They always come in the house when it gets cold outside. They want to find a warm place to live. So anyway, so here you have a pocket, but you don't. I won't show you how to do. It's just glued there. So it's just the interaction you're going to be doing. So this is a little book. Here you have a pocket that I made with a card, and I made it so that you can put something that goes all the way to the side and all the way to the bottom. And I had to put a little pole here so that, because the card is the same size as the pocket, since it's the same size card that I used to make it. So I made this little pole. So we're going to make that. You're going to learn how to make a little booklet with the string. It's attached to that. Your pocket here that goes all the way to the side as well. Let me get a card here and show you. So it goes all the way to the sides here. You learn how to do that with that little flap. Next, you learn how to make a liner. So it's a on-page pocket. So there's a book, a card in there. You learn how to make that and how to make it go in there. Mine is a little bit too wide maybe. I might have to cut maybe I don't know, 1/16 of an inch. And this is another pocket, so it's going to be the same technique. Here we have a file. The file, I make 3 layers of 2 envelopes per layer, so it's a 6 envelope flat file. And there's a card behind it. And next is the waterfall cascade, which everybody loves. You learn how to do that. And then here's just a belly band, 3 pieces of ribbon or lace, whatever, that goes into around a piece of paper. And again, here we have the same liner, but I won't show you twice. So this is the project we're going to make. So I'm going to show you what we need. So as I told you, you need to have at least 12. If I add another one here, let's say 13, okay? But it could be whatever you want, any other paper collection. If you have only 12 sheets in one collection, it could be anything. It could be with music notes, little flowers, whatever. Anything that would match with your paper collection. So I need to have 12 sheets here. I have some that have little cards, so like these are cutouts. There's a couple of sheets here where I have cutouts. Where's the other one? This one here. So I'm going to use those little cards, but not during the tutorial. It's just for decoration after. And here I have 15 cards. 12 could still be good because you don't have to have that many cards in the pockets and everything. So I have cards here. If you have some that are portraits and a couple that are landscape, that would be good. Next, you need to have a paper trimmer, ruler, pencil, eraser. This is this little tool, I forget the name of it, to make the lines, the score lines, a scoring tool. Scissors for paper, scissors for ribbon. Just in case you need, we might need that, maybe not, but if you have one, it's good. The X-Acto. You need a 1/16 of an inch punch, a 1-inch punch. Here, if you can make a little booklet. Here I have tea-dyed paper. You can have as many as you want. Here I have 6 pages that I folded in 2, and I'll give you the measurements. 1 set of magnets, just 1 set. Okay. You need a needle and some crochet thread. You need a piece of ribbon that's wide enough for meeting fabric and here. If you don't have any wide, you're using something a little like narrower here, make sure you make the when I will tell you the measurements for the fabric, make it wider on each side of the book. Okay, so you need that, and also you need other ribbons, random ribbons. This I need for sure. This little poking tool, scoreboard, tacky glue. Sorry, my bottle is really old. Fabric tack, or you can have 3-in-1. My bottle is almost empty, but you can have either one. That's for the fabric, for the text, the fabric, fiber, for the fiber. You need some cardstock. I didn't bring the chipboard. You need some chipboard. So you need you need 2 sheets, okay, either 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11. 2 sheets of this. Cardstock, you need the regular, and you need some heavyweight as well. So here I have some heavyweight that's much thicker. Also, you need to have 3 envelopes. Those are the envelopes I will measure for you. Get this. Come on. these are gonna be like 13 by no, sorry, I just did the tutorial in French and I was in metric. So 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. So you need 3 of them. What else do you need? It's pretty much it, I guess. Yeah. So first I will show you what I've done with the pages. Let me get rid of some stuff here because there's a lot. This I don't need now. So I'm gonna work with these two for now. Okay, I don't need the scoreboard. Yes, I will. Okay, so the pages are, like I told you, the pages that I saw on Scrap and Rabbit, Christine Scrap and Rabbit. So you need to have a sheet of 6 3/4, 6 3/4 by 6 1/4. My ruler is missing the first lines here, so it's really hard. Let me measure here. Okay, so you have 6 3/4 by 6 1/8. 6 1/8 high, 6 3/4 wide. 2 sheets. I have 2 different colors. Doesn't have to be 2 different. Can have 2 the same color. And then you score those 2 lines at 3/8. Score 2 lines at 3/8 of an inch. Then you taper just the last flap. Do that. Up to the line, the fold line. Then you fold them both on the same side, going towards the same side, on the same side, not accordion, straight like that. Okay, so the first page we're gonna make is, I'm not making this one because this is at the end with this one. Those are covering the covers. So we're gonna make those 2 pages here. Okay. So this page here. So we're gonna have to have a piece of cardstock here. Here I recommend you have heavy weight as well as the pages. Okay. You need to have heavy weight. So we're going to. So I'm gonna work with this one first. First, what you have to do when you have all your collections, you have to put away what you need for the covers, the outside and the inside cover. So here I have the outside cover, okay, and I'm in the back, and I need the one for the top. I'm making the same. So that's for the front. And that's for the back, as you can see. The back here, the front here. Okay? You have to make sure you put those away so that you're sure you're not missing any paper, not out of paper. And also, if you're using a card like I did here, you put the one card that you want to have on the top. So I'm going to use this one. So this is put away until the end. Okay? You're not touching those. Here you have those sheets 8 1/2 by 11 cut in half on the 11 side. So you have 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and you fold them in 2. So you have 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and you fold them. And the one that is inside is not going as deep as the one on top here for sure. So here you have those extra. They're kind of sticking out. So I like to cut those, make them all even. Like this. Okay. Next, you get a little piece of cardstock. I'm going to put that here because I'm going to be more organized that way. That's black. So here I need a little piece of brown. Okay. So here you can have whatever width you want, but as long as you have long enough from the side of the card of the page, and you have some like 1/2 inch going inside, and it has to go past half the book. Or if you want to have the magnet here and here, then you can finish it here. But because I have this card here and I wanted to make it wider so I could put a little extra something cute here, I made it that wide. But you can make it as wide, any width you want, as long as it goes at least, I would say, an inch on the book. So here I measure, I have about 4.5, and I have 2.25. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to cut 2.25 on this side by 4 and 4.5 or something like that. That's going to be good. That wide enough? It's perfect. Okay, so that's what I have here. I'm going to score 2 lines at I would put 1/4 inch, and just the one line at 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to have a little gusset. I'm making a gusset right here. I would say a little bit more than 1/8 inch. So I have those 2 lines. I don't need to taper, because when we taper is when we glue to the corners. Here's right there in the center, so we don't need to taper. So I'm going to fold those 2 lines. So here I have my little gusset. Sorry, the train is making a lot of noise. Okay, so this you can glue to the page. So I'm going to grab my glue, which I should have put upside down so that it comes out faster. So where you have your flap folding, you're going to go inside, and just on the little outside flap here. Okay. Oh, the other side. It's okay. So you glue that onto the center. You just center here, wherever. Oh, not the right side. Sorry. Let's do that again. Okay, let's do this again. So I put the glue here. I need to have more glue. So this is the side of your book, of your page. Okay, this is the attachment to the book right here. So you're going to glue that onto the other side, just like this. And then it's going to go inside. So make sure that you're up to the line, the first core line. And if you fold it on the page, then you can see if it's square with the side. Oh, this paper takes a long time to glue, so I have to keep it down for a long time. Make sure that it's parallel. Okay, there. Here I'm using a scallop scissors. If you have a border punch, anything you like, you can use it here. I just think it's cuter, so I wanted to use that. Okay, so it's here. And now we're going to make the book. So you need another sheet of paper. Cardstock. Different colors here. I need another one. So here we're going to measure the height of the book plus maybe 1/8 inch on each side. So I'm going to go, because my paper here is 5.5, so I'm gonna go 5 3/4. So I have 1/8 on each side, and then you measure. You leave 1/8 inch there too. You make a mark where your book is. You're going to have 1/8 inch gusset, and you need to add like 1/2 inch. Okay, so you're gonna cut that. Here and here. And I like to finish with the scissors because it doesn't tear the corner. You could always round your corners if you want to. So now I'm going to score 2 lines. So the 2 lines that I've made with my pencil. So there's one that was just 1/8 larger, wider than the book, I mean the sheets, and then 1/8 inch past that. So we have 2 score lines. So we're going to fold those 2 score lines. here you have 1/8 of an inch gusset, you have 1/2 an inch here or whatever, and you have the just 1/8 of an inch around, larger than your sheet, your booklet. Okay, now we're going to measure, find the center. So this is 5 3/4, so I'm going to go to the center, and on the gusset I'm going to just make a little mark with my pencil right here, and then I'm going to measure 1.5 inches on each side. Do this little mark here and this little mark here. So you have the 3 marks on the gusset. I'm using this little tool here. I'm just poking through them. Okay. Now you take your little booklet, you put it just 1/8 of an inch from the sides, here and here, and you mark where you made the holes on your cardstock so that you make the same holes in the book. So you open the book to the center, you make sure everything is nice and flush, and then you go to poke through them. So when you poke through them, first you go like this and you look behind to see if the tip right here is in the fold. It has to be in the fold, the inside fold. You do the same here, it's good. And then if you don't move them, you go here. Is in the fold. Yep, so you poke. Then you get a little piece of string and a needle. Get maybe, I would say, 1.5 feet, okay, 18 inches. You just thread your needle. So the way to do that, checking to see if I have enough time. So you hold the flap with the holes here and then your book here. So first you start going from the outside to the inside of the cardstock, then you go from the outside to the inside of the book, of the sheets. Okay, try and hold everything so that you know where you're going. You go through, you leave some about 4 or 5 inches there. Then you go through in the center from the inside to the outside of the sheets. Okay, usually I don't have any problems. I don't know what's with me today. If you can't go through, you just go one sheet at a time, and you can go through like this. So this one came out, I will just thread it again, okay, later. So you go from the inside to the outside on the cardstock, you pull a little bit, then you go from the outside to the inside on the cardstock, and then you go put that everything nice and straight. So you go from the inside to the outside to the inside, and then you go from the outside to the inside of the sheets. You might have to go through a couple and then look for where the others are going. Maybe your sheets are not straight, but that's okay. You just go through that. Okay. So now you're here. Now what you have to do is you go back into the center from the inside to the outside of the book. You just follow your thread, and then you go inside to the outside of the middle in the cardstock. Now if you drop your stuff that when you start, which happens very often, you just put it back. So you thread that, and then you just go back into the hole. It's still in there, but it's just the cardstock it had lost. Okay, now you make sure you tighten that. Make sure it's really tight. Don't tear it, but make sure that it's not loose, because if you have a loose book here, it's not nice. And then what you do is you're going to go, this short one, you're going to make it go underneath the top line so that you can tie everything, and then the knot is in the center. That's the way to do it. I like to make three knots. Okay, come on. I have dry hands today, that's why I'm having so much problems. It's cold today and I have dry hands. I don't like that. I'm telling you. That way and then the other way. So you have to have like alternating the side of the knots. Not all the three are the same. And I leave maybe a couple of inches. 3 inches, 4 inches. So you have the book. So what you have to do now is glue that onto the side here. And then I'll be back to show you how we finish the pocket, the magnet, and everything here. So I'll be right back. Come back. Thank you.